reports single-day spike of 397 new confirmed COVID-19 cases and 10 deaths in 24 hours. Death toll stands at 434. Former Katrigao MLA Thangjam Nandakishore alias Tayai succumbs to COVID-19 at Shiza Hospital this morning at the age of 68. Man who died of COVID-19 at Jennings early this morning cremated without family's consent. Bereaved family demands to book miscreants involved. And India reports above 382,000 new COVID-19 cases and 3,780 deaths in past 24 hours. The recovery rate stands above 82%. Hello and welcome to Impact News. You're watching Primetime English Bulletin. I'm Joyshree Usham. To stay protected from coronavirus, wash your hands frequently, wear your mask properly and maintain a safe distance. Now the news in details. Manipur has reported a single-day spike of 397 new COVID-19 cases out of 1,943 test results received today. Newly infected persons are 377 from the general population and 20 are personnel of Central Armed Police Force. All the necessary medical precautionary measures like containment and contact tracing are in place. While 10 COVID-19 patients died in the past 24 hours, rising the state's COVID-19 deaths toll to 434. The deceased persons are 4 from Imphal West, 3 from Imphal East, 2 from Kangpokpi and 1 from Churachandpur district. As per State Health Department and COVID-19 Command Control Room press release at 5 p.m. today, total confirmed cases of COVID-19 in Manipur has reached 33,353, out of which 2,657 are active cases. On a positive note, 121 people were discharged in the past 24 hours, rising the total recovered cases to 30,262. State's recovery rate stands at 90.73%. Former Katrigao MLA Thangjam Nandakishore alias Tayai succumbed to COVID-19 at Shiza Hospital this morning. He was 68. He was admitted to Shiza Hospital on May 3. Thangjam Nandakishore was elected as Katrigao MLA on NCP ticket in the 9th Manipur Legislative Assembly election of 2007. He also contested as NCP candidate in the 10th Manipur Legislative Assembly election and as Manipur National Democratic Front candidate in the 11th Manipur Legislative Assembly election of 2017. Thangjam Nandakishore joined the Congress party a few months ago. Many people, especially residents of Katrigao Assembly constituency, condoled his demise. Manipur Pradesh Congress Committee MPCC has condoled the untimely demise of former Katrigao MLA Thangjam Nandakishore alias Tayai. Last rites of a man who succumbed to COVID-19 has been performed without his family's consent. Enraged and dismayed family members have appealed to the relevant authorities to take actions against those involved in the incident. Impact News reporter Katrimayum Premchan and camera person El Kabi bring you a report.
Body of 78 years old Waripam Jugindro from Top Kungnang Makong was cremated without his family's consent today. He was admitted to Jennings after he tested positive for COVID-19 on 3rd April and passed away early this morning. Led Jugindro's son said they were making arrangements for his father's funeral at his birthplace by strictly adhering to COVID-19 SOPs when they got information that his father has been already cremated.
Manipur government ki magi leiriba SOP ki magi protocol ki COVID ki niyong ki matungina ngasagi Jenims ki MS na DC Imphal East magi thongom tokpa niyom ching tongnabagi damakta ayaba potharakanda Imphal East ki DC na ngasagi agi legidraba agi father si dispose to yare habigi permission si pirakanda Jenims ki adungaba ngasai COVID ward sila ngasagi anaba legidaba agi father si loba sapa matamjida leiramdabani aduna agi father si atopa mi amana purakanda ngasagi Manipur government ki minu thongda leiriba sigumlaba communication ground asi da mai je thadom Jenims ki COVID manung de leiriba doctor sing staff sing ki marak sida ngasagi mi sing asi kana identify tawrakanda mi sing je pidabagi ngasagi moigi gi oiba thabak kinara natraga moigi daita mase khangdabagi na rachiumagi porama khoi uba filter baje mase as a people of Manipur mi amoina engonda yamna nungaijadaba aduna ngasagi father thokraga jo atopa tongan ba mi sing da sugumba mi gi mama mapa da aroiba ritual tok jagadabagi da cheran turan na ngasagi mai thadok khibagi poraje masi matung da thoktana ba Jenims ko authority amadi rims ki amadi Manipur ki lengang na amadi maroina honorable akoi gi tamo biren na masida hena daita longing bagi apam badu ai sumai thamjage.
The Virya family held talks with Jenims authority and advisor to Chief Minister Health, who is also MLA of Konthokjam AC, Sapam Ranjan, regarding the incident. Speaking to Impact News, Jenims Director Professor T.S. Bimo expressed sadness about the incident amid all-out efforts by health workers to tackle coronavirus pandemic. He assured of forming a committee to look into the unfortunate incident, which seems to have occurred either due to lack of proper communications or certain loopholes.
Manung datariba hoyi doctor singse moisu ICCU phamung taramak silwena muk phullo eraga moisu walk tokdana adum stress and the strain da laiba adu ngarang si pung 12 ga minute 35 sida nungmai bungdagi ama leitre adugi matungda ziki top tagi halsi pung 2 ga minute yankhai da leite ama loiraga amomo attend to hoi atopa dead body ama sulai aduna tang mari gi ni tobul dagi lay hidragadi next step si sister or grade 4 na dead body yomba process ti akoina laitaba mi sigi address ki matungina concern DC du da paupi khoi doctor na soi toba medical superintendent tegi tariba senior doctor amagi soi du tawraga concern DC da piraga DC na patient party si imung manung contact tawraga sanabi matungina imung manung na SOP nga aga poloi gadra natraga nam adu municipality na tawudu da akoi gi representative ama ani ahum la aga la no khairam jaraga akoi hayama layama mafam de kasarage adu municipality na tawbiro haiba port se DC dagi confirm tawraga adugi matungda tongnai handaki ngasi gi matang sidadi akoi committee ama semaga sigi porse kamain thoino haibedu soidene yanghangani tasengadi moisu wabani waraga su physically ahoba asoiwa amala abanina madu karmaina soikribano kamaina tawkribano do koi thiga soidena thigal hangani.
Speaking to Impact News, advisor to Manipur Chief Minister Health Sapam Ranjan, who immediately took stock of the situation at Jenims, also expressed grief. He assured of taking necessary actions at the earliest.
Yamna nungaitaba thodokta body onana pugi bhaiba tare yamna sigi pardonable oibanate yamna very unfortunate incident ni adugi I honorable CM naimunda kudatta pachalaga karino aino sigalogai hoje karino details ai lobulak jabani other details from the honorable Chief Minister that sigi kanosi hasna brief toraga lapses to kadai no lapses to later lapses to kadai no karida no lapses later ambajagadu action whatever is needed it's actually admit to batavani it was a major lapse minor not a major lapse kadai no lapse tigaliba whether hospital site there na traga koigi district administration there ha badu hasna kupna hasna fact to puthoga honorable Chief Minister will take appropriate action.
Manipur is not spared from the dreaded second wave of COVID-19 pandemic. Today's incident is an aftermath of the rising COVID-19 active cases and COVID deaths in the state. Relevant authorities should take necessary measures to prevent such mischief in the future. With camera person El Kabi, this is Ketamanium Premchan reporting for Impact News, Jenims, Imphal East.
In the wake of surging cases of COVID-19, Manipur government has issued additional restrictions in respect of opening of shops and movement of people and vehicles. The new guidelines are in partial modification of the order dated April 29 imposed in areas under Imphal Municipal Corporation and Greater Imphal under Disaster Management Act 2005. As per the additional guidelines issued yesterday, signed by Amit Khan, a Chief Secretary in charge and Chairman of State Executive Committee, Government of Manipur, there will be a complete ban on movement of vehicles, including time period of 6 a.m. till 10 a.m., except those vehicles carrying essentials like LPG, oxygen, goods, petroleum, etc. Local markets at Kurai Lamlong, Andro Parking, Lambulen, Kongba, Pishumthong, Kwakaitel, Nagamapal, Singjamai Bazaar and Wahengbam Lekai are to be closed, while banks will open from 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. for government, urgent time-bound and COVID-related transactions. Post offices will also be open from 10 a.m. till 2:30 p.m. for delivery of medicines and medical equipments and other time-bound services. Imphal Airport, petrol pumps and LPG outlets will also remain opened. As per the new guidelines, only one of 3 shops in one location will be allowed to open on rotational basis. Meanwhile, other earlier orders remain unchanged. Following the announcement of the new guidelines, Manipur Police is ensuring that people strictly abide by the containment restrictions. Police personnel are being deployed at strategic location in Greater Imphal and making sure that people do not flout the new guidelines issued by the government in a bid to stop a further spread of coronavirus. Babina Diagnostic Center has clarified that some of its staff have tested positive for COVID-19, but not to the extent as rumored. During a telephonic conversation with Impact News, a Deputy General Manager of Babina Diagnostic Center, Chongtham Kuleshwar, confirmed that 28 staffs of Babina Diagnostic Center have tested positive for COVID-19 so far. He expressed disappointment that some people have exaggerated the number to around 40 and have told people to avoid visiting the center. Kuleshwar said Babina Diagnostic Center employs around 300 staff and they have to go through routine screening. He said 4 weeks ago some staff were found to be positive for COVID-19, following which necessary measures like sanitization, containment and contact tracing were carried out. He appeals to stop spreading false news about the center. He maintained that around 46,000 RT-PCR and TrueNAT tests have been conducted at the diagnostic center since July 13 last year, out of which 3,000 samples have tested COVID-19 positive. He said that the center is trying its best to curb the pandemic by submitting such information on time to the government so that the government may take timely measures to curb COVID-19 pandemic in the state. Genim's oxygen plant is capable of producing only around 100 D-type oxygen cylinders per day. Even though the oxygen plant can produce 100 cylinders owing to a small booster machine, only 40 cylinders can be refilled with oxygen in a day at present. Speaking to Impact News today, Genim Store Department Officer in charge Surjit said that around 300 D-type oxygen cylinders are required at the hospital every day for patients, including COVID-19 patients, but the oxygen plant can provide only 40 oxygen cylinders. He added that efforts are being made to transport the remaining oxygen, which the booster machine is incapable of refilling into the oxygen cylinders, towards the main block through the central pipeline. He assured that setting up of central pipeline is at the final trial, and once it is completed, oxygen can be supplied to patients but directly through a pipe.
oxygen production capacity plant sigi oina di no mada chama gumba puthokpa ngamasu booster hariba koi cylinder da oxygen hananaba machine sigi capacity di pangchau chau de no mada ni phugumba de hena hanba ngamdaba aduna akoina production khudimakse cylinder da loina onthokpadi ngamdri kaiguma booster si khara chauba amaga leiragadi akoina harage hena cylinder hanba ngamgani haina khal lenga ki level da koi request tawja khare understanding su leire koi gi booster hariba cylinder da hanaba machine macha je masi khatang chauba capacity gi amatang ga leibiragadi hena hanba yani aduga koi gi tasengna hairagadi masi gi PSA oxygen generation plant je trial oina run tawba hojaba je ngan hogiba me gi tarik amagi pung tara dagi ni ayuki kuidri adugi mamang dagi oxygen consumption ji koi mit tawbiri ji den agency haina adugba koi oxygen supply tawba agency ama lai moina deliver tawbirakwa oxygen duna ni koi na patient da pizari je.
Another 150 oxygen cylinders have been filled and dispatched from Usham under the supervision of Kurai MLA L. Sushindro, Chairman LDA, to meet the requirements in the state. The MLA has been stationing in Guwahati since the last 3 days to oversee the arrangements for procuring oxygen from Usham.
Bus no the ahum hina sendraba maram dina sagi Manipur the passengers ikha wat pana maram kanda aduna hojikse koi cylinder gari manda 20 half na bana koi hona jabne adubo yamna problem se kaina kanda magi weight se 70 kg gumulumba aduna tara da dum 700 kg like na maram kanda magi hafam space le raga su yamna lumba por oibne koi hapdo yadre aduna gari ahum jaiza koi hojik 30 khatane koi na thajai se ado remaining hojik 120 mane adagi 35 maga pulamna 155 se seisa 30 misakre 105 amana koi truck amada koi engage toro lere truck sumang da lere ado engage toroga koi hojik lere seisa gi pulap kanosin se koi nasis dagi tharani.
Central government has identified 581 sites for setting up additional pressure swing absorption PSA medical oxygen plants in various states. In a series of tweets, Road Transport and Highways Minister Nitin Gadkari said the National Highway Authority of India will be the nodal agency for executing civil and electrical work for these plants and will complete them on war footing. He said our engineers will work with the doctors to ensure oxygen supply to needy patients. The minister said like record speed in roads, NHAI will construct infrastructure in record speed to save life of every Indian. Manipur University has decided to postpone all the examinations conducted under the university until further notice in view of prevailing COVID-19 pandemic situation. The decision was taken in an emergency meeting of Dean's Committee of the university held today. Summer vacation of the university will start from May 10 until June 9. COVID-19 vaccination was carried out at Iputho Nautingkhong Pakhangba Shanglen under the initiative of Thangmaiban MLA Khumukcham Joykishan today. Speaking on the sidelines, the MLA called upon all the state MLAs to provide foods and other essentials to inmates of COVID care centers opened in their respective constituencies. He also volunteered to bear the expenses of fooding for the inmates at RD Wing COVID Care Center in Thangmaiban, which will be opened on May 7 if allowed by the government. MLA Khumukcham Joykishan personally inspected the vaccination campsite set up with the requisite permission of the government and the health department to vaccinate those above the age of 45 years today. He called upon both ruling and opposition parties to step up battle against COVID-19 as the virus spares none. He also appeals to the government to ensure adequate supply of COVID-19 vaccines and medical oxygens in the state.
I Kendra Soriba, COVID Care Center Oriba, RD Wingi, Hale patients in Sigi, Sana Bagi responsibility, say, Masa Logjarage, Ayukilan Sama, Nundangi, Dinarama, Aduga, light breakfast, Nundingi snack tea, Zairim Togjarage, Manipur Government, Masi Ayawa Pibu, Aduga, I appeal to Visioning Badi, Manipur Government Labor Minister Singh, Aduga, Akogi, MLA Mayam, elected Singh, whether they are ruling or opposition. Akoy Mayam Sina, government criticized Togdana, no Adu Tawi, Adu Wali Habimota, Lady COVID Care Center Singh, Sana Nobasa Koyamo dialogue. isolation se government na hida wat pagi oxygen wat pagi chen chenu loina ma government ta na gani form do toktho si hojikti blame game gi matam nate laiba lan se opposition ruling khaiba lan nate masi tongan ba corona ma hik lan dar ese ma di opposition ni ma di ruling ni ma di ngang mane lak tong na te na khoi ponna masi unitedly fight tosi.
Thangmaiman MLA Kumukcham Joy Kishan also encouraged people of the state to get themselves vaccinated against COVID-19. He assured that COVID-19 vaccination is safe and people not only in India but across the world are getting themselves vaccinated. He sought for cooperation from CSOs, local clubs and Marapaibi groups to battle COVID-19 pandemic effectively by ensuring that people follow COVID-appropriate behaviors like wearing of face mask, using hand sanitizers, social distancing, etc.
Manipur Mayamda, Tamil Mayamda, appeal to Jeningati. Vaccine, say Yarhe Katuk Viva, vaccine Karpaga, Kane Kanadi, do Nenabibadu, Tobiganu, vaccine Kapisi, Petit Pumbayana, Dana, Barat Pumbayana, Dana, Hey, Na Bagadi, Karamakidik, Makupung, Ni Haduna, Akoi, Kapi, Masdeda, Akoi Kudimona, 4% Piviva, COVID second web, Machina Lak, Dagidi, Yamna, Nungai Tabatoning, the Totomayam to Baraki State Kada, Hena, Sati Sativa, Pivum the lady, Huziksi, Lockdown Mayam, Tonabasi, Manipur Dasu, Manipur Gomena, Gatari Pandra. Containment zone sida mayam no SOP ngakpiba thawai da mi khuptai ngakane khoi thoise aduna section na bai na khoi hajari.
COVID-19 vaccination for those 45 years and above was also carried out at Thongju Part 2 today. Volunteers of 9 local clubs and staffs of Health Department under the aegis of COVID Task Force Thongju Part 2 organized a camp at Urban Primary Health Center Thongju Part 2, Kono Kongnang Makong. Speaking to media, convener of COVID Task Force Namayrakpam Chingkai said vaccination drive at the center commenced yesterday. He said a maximum of 100 people are allowed to get COVID-19 vaccine shots per day at the center. In the wake of second wave of COVID-19 pandemic, COVID vaccination was also carried out in Kakching district today. Vaccines were administered to those 45 years and above at the center. Thambal Marik College at Oinam will be converted into a community home isolation center. Oinam MLA and Chairman of Manipur Pollution Control Board, L. Radhakishore, declared the same today on the sidelines of an inspection visit at the site. He also met with representatives of Oinam AC COVID-19 Management Committee who will be running the center. MLA L. Radhakishore handed over a financial help of 50,000 rupees to the committee.
Oinam Kendrada Laigadaba, Kendras the Laigadaba, Community Home Isolation Center, CIC Center Dama Hangbugi, Gamena Topirako, Order do, Ekoi Kendra Sigioina, Oinam Tamamari College, upon Mr. Hangagan, upon Mr. Hanganavagi, Gamena Topiribo, Order to Gimatungina, Equinangasi, first meeting, committee meeting, Hamzare, Navagi Ekoi, Lang use, Signore, Masi alarming, was warning later, Aduna, Dum Prasa Singna, Ekoi Miam Punaba, Great about. Function to we have Kermit to we Tamase, Masiyari people.
Speaker of Manipur Legislative Assembly Yumnam Khemchan has appealed for cooperation from the public to make government's initiative to curb COVID-19 pandemic successful. First community home isolation center for Singjamai Assembly constituency was opened at Manipur College today. Speaking on the occasion, Yumnam Khemchan asserted that every section of the society is responsible in fighting the pandemic and not just the state government and the relevant departments. He also appeals to adhere to COVID-19 appropriate behaviors at all times.
Angai padang asi, oire iba film sida. Ekoi na sarkar ni sarkar ngaping tukuya di. Habi wakil tu thamjara kanda. Sinjamai da, saya haudo isi. Government kisu asuya apa masing di thamam lagi. Tapi na, ana padang puak kani hai na. Na riba sing kisu family sing terlai kai da spread tahu ya awi chance. Wang boleh na spread tahu tu haugure. Al masigi. Karena tu isu kan lo tolong mekanisme sarkar na putok na. Koi na inisiatif lau jadi si. Masih Manipur ki kian rekudi mukta mapung pan pangtok tidak agadi. Sarkar na tahu riba sida. So mati yang ini kanjara kanda masih haugjo ni. Test tahu tu lagi usum mayam yauri. Koi cantonment zone ni log ꯍꯥꯡꯇꯣꯛꯑꯒ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯊꯝꯃꯤꯕ ꯇꯦꯁ ꯇꯧꯕꯒꯤ ꯐꯦꯁꯤꯂꯤꯇꯤ ꯂꯩꯇꯕꯗꯤ ꯅꯠꯇꯦ ꯁꯨꯝ ꯆꯤꯟꯅꯕ ꯃꯦꯟ ꯄꯥꯋꯔ ꯋꯥꯠꯄ ꯑꯗꯒꯤ ꯂꯩꯀꯥꯏꯒꯤ ꯃꯤꯁꯨ ꯊꯣꯛꯂꯒ ꯅꯣꯏꯗꯨ ꯇꯦꯁ ꯇꯧꯕꯒꯤ ꯄꯨꯕꯤꯒꯦ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯁꯨ ꯂꯩꯇ꯭ꯔꯦ ꯃꯔꯝꯗꯤ ꯍꯟꯗꯛꯀꯤ ꯁꯦꯀꯦꯟ ꯋꯦꯕꯀꯤ ꯃꯌꯦꯛꯁꯤꯅ ꯀꯟꯕꯁꯤꯗ ꯍꯥꯏꯗꯤ ꯃꯅꯤꯄꯨꯔ ꯄꯨꯝꯕ ꯀꯟꯇ꯭ꯔꯣꯜ ꯇꯧꯕꯒꯤ ꯃꯦꯀꯥꯅꯤꯖꯝ ꯑꯃ ꯊꯣꯛꯇ꯭ꯔꯒꯗꯤ ꯁꯤ ꯑꯃꯗ ꯇꯧꯕꯁꯨ ꯌꯥꯗꯦ ꯑꯗꯨꯕꯨ ꯃꯁꯤ ꯒꯨꯗ ꯕꯤꯒꯤꯅꯤꯡꯅꯦꯅ ꯈꯟꯖꯔꯀꯥꯟꯗ ꯁꯔꯀꯥꯔꯅꯁꯨ ꯑꯉꯝꯕ ꯃꯇꯦꯡ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯑꯩ ꯄꯥꯡꯉꯛꯀꯅꯤ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯒꯤ ꯊꯥꯖꯕ ꯂꯩꯔꯒ ꯍꯧꯖꯕꯅꯤ.
Speaking on the occasion, Advisor to Chief Minister Health, Dr. S. Ranjan, assured that state government and relevant departments are trying all-out efforts to curb COVID-19 pandemic. He appeals to get tested for COVID-19 in the event of experiencing any symptoms. Dr. S. Ranjan added that COVID beds at Jennings and RIMS will be increased. Speaking on the occasion, Director Health Services Manipur Dr. K. Rajo appeals to everyone to adhere to COVID-appropriate behaviors. He assured that there is no lack of oxygen in the state and urged people to stop hoarding oxygen cylinders.
Jennings COVID ki beds henkana bina makta yamna kenota hori RIMS henkana bagi adum physical excel si khatana tana khoi private hospitals American Oncology Institute moi jo 30 or 40 beds 30 to 50 beds have moi bodi 30 hai adu gi damakta hauna bina makta aya bapigre ape pullaga fight tammi ge do pandemic ni na praga apai pumna makta SOP na mayam adum haidong leba SOP jinga koi follow tamina si kana guma imung singna ki dana oxygen extra lesson na magi reserve tawna thambi gnu masi tasengna anaba season asi masamai tawduna oxygen si akoina mam khara thenare yoliba ngasai kanuduna su masi government akan action lokot ka dore aduna oxygen si palai de lesson biba aduga ai naragani haina tawbse masi madi tawbiganu masi help tawna nokta manipur government ready de lay oxygen ready de lay oxygen si manipur saba private farm ani lay bisempur dama pasoi dama joji jinim sasu yam thuna hangdogani sija da su yam thuna hangdogani aduga mahum tar to su government oxygen ki plan se semba yabagi ayaba su pire aduna ka suwani ngai leke pot khurimak mong ta thamna bamakta government se ya honori government honor bisida praja sina sumateng pabidana control tawminasi haibadi tawgadaba se covid appropriate behavior amadi vaccination tawbase masina second wave ki tamthirba lena se thimong ngani ala praja sina mateng pabiu government mateng pabiu.
Lok Sabha MP Dr. R.K. Ranjan has accused Trinamool Congress-led government in West Bengal of tainting the Bengal civilization. He was speaking to media at BJP Manipur Pradesh office in Nitepak Chutek today in the presence of President in charge of BJP Manipur Pradesh Dr. Usham Deben and General Secretary Organization BJP Avi Giri. Claiming that the recent post-poll violence in Bengal has never occurred in the history of India, MP R.K. Ranjan termed the incident as a shame to the country's history. He added that BJP workers were violently attacked and around 4,000 houses were vandalized post-election in direct challenge to the country's democracy. Dr. R.K. Ranjan said BJP Manipur Pradesh condemns the incident and called upon the general public to extend solidarity.
Election ki history da India da khwaidagi dirtiest oiba pamdaba thokdokse Trinamool Congress na Bengal da thohalle. This is the first incident created by the Mamata Banerjee after post-election syndrome. Trinamool support towa Bangladesh based towa nationality signa saying na Bharat ki damukta apunba ki damukta unity ki damukta sakhatpa ki damukta tawriba BJP ki workers in after election da hatupi more than 400 houses were burned down. Asibu after election the thokpa yaba thokdokla India ki history da sumba thokdo amungba wo thokide only Trinamool na Bengal sida nampu da sasan paina bo na wada masigi thokdo asi thoya.
Speaking about the prevailing COVID-19 situation in the state, MP Ranjan assured that Chief Minister Nongthombam Biren-led BJP state government is taking every possible initiatives to tackle the pandemic. He said COVID care centers are being opened across the state, oxygen plants are being set up as well as medical oxygen are being procured from outside the state to meet the demand of medical oxygen in the state. MP Ranjan appeals to follow COVID-appropriate behaviors to protect oneself from COVID-19.
Sarkar na piriba medical professionals sing na piriba guidelines sing ado aikoi na phajana follow tawrabadi observe tawrabadi he tongna taba aikoi gi haining badi am lay adu panjararo yararoi haradi kainum tawraga heta phagi dona khoi gi leibak sida tawi kudam na thabal chongguda distancing tawena sai paira he chonga kumba then matang sadana nuat ki saida corona ge khari leibak si phagi dona khoi praja na tawri sikari gino haibase masi leibak mo sa taba jati mu oi se ꯍꯥꯏꯔꯗꯤ ꯀꯣꯔꯣꯅꯥꯗꯒꯤ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏ ꯄꯨꯟꯅ ꯉꯥꯛꯊꯣꯛꯃꯤꯟꯅꯁꯤ ꯍꯥꯏꯔꯗꯤ ꯑꯩ ꯏꯁꯥꯁꯦ ꯍꯥꯟꯅ ꯒ꯭ꯌꯥꯟ ꯑꯃꯨꯛꯇ ꯇꯥꯃꯤꯟꯅꯁꯤ ꯑꯗꯨ ꯑꯣꯏꯔꯕꯗꯤ ꯑꯩꯒꯤ ꯂꯩꯕꯥꯛ ꯑꯩꯒꯤ ꯁ꯭ꯇꯦꯠ ꯑꯩꯒꯤ ꯂꯩꯀꯥꯏ ꯑꯩꯒꯤ ꯈꯨꯡꯒꯪ ꯏꯔꯥꯏ ꯂꯥꯏꯅ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏ ꯀꯣꯚꯤꯗ ꯃꯨꯛꯇ ꯂꯩꯕꯥꯛ ꯑꯁꯤ ꯑꯣꯏꯕ ꯉꯝꯒꯅꯦꯕ.
Amid the coronavirus pandemic, members of BJP Manipur Pradesh carried out protest demonstrations across the state today against the post-poll violence in Kolkata. Sit-ins were staged at the office of Lamlai BJP Mandal, BJP Oinam Mandal, BJP Thoubal District and others. Protesters used placards condemning AITMC's acts during the recent assembly election in West Bengal. BJP Lamlai Mandal members staged protest meet at Nongada Makhalekai under the initiative of BJP State Council member K.H. Ibomcha against the post-poll violence in West Bengal. Members of BJP Lamlai Mandal, President BJP Mahila Mandal Imphal East, Yuva Morcha Imphal East took part in the sit-in holding various placards. Speaking on the sidelines, K.H. Ibomcha said President rules should be imposed in West Bengal to protect democracy of the country.
Tabuk sing se masidi sumata state sing the sulamdam narta ka di ideada democracy gi mami se samgrani aduna mana chathrai ba mi hat mi pun sing gi achumba puthok tana bara leiba sing do dandi piba ngamna bai damukta ujikti Mamata Banerjee akhoi gi Bengal da center na khut thingjalaga president ru thamaga madu ya sumara do loina thido ka da bara leiba sing do dandi piduna sigum sing se democracy da di sana de ya de haiba chap chaba ama khanga ka da government le hemana le hemani aduga Zikis da my government says some lay Hintaraga, some basing up the Potopung Amore. Aduga Simba, Harper to Kogi, Satarakana, Bengal, Congress, Water, Natava. Atale, Uriba, innocent Prazazi, Marueda, BJP workers, Makatan, Harper to be the
Protest meet was also staged at Devi Mandop in Thoubal Wangmataba today. BJP Thoubal district organized a sit-in in solidarity to the two-day nationwide protest called by BJP against the post-poll violence in West Bengal. It may be mentioned that after the announcement of recent West Bengal Assembly elections results, workers of All India Trinamool Congress clashed with BJP workers, wherein 10 workers died and several sustained injuries. Meanwhile, National Human Rights Commission has taken cognizance of the post-poll violence in West Bengal and ordered investigation. Citing various media reports in this regard, the commission said the political workers allegedly clashed with each other, party offices were torched down, some homes were ransacked and also looted. It said the local administration appears not to have acted to stop such a violation of human rights of the affected persons. The NHRC considered the violence as a fit case of alleged violation of right to life of the innocent citizens and ordered its DIG investigation to constitute a team to conduct an on-the-spot fact-finding investigation and submit a report within 2 weeks. Now on that note, it's time for a small commercial break. After the break, we bring you news on coronavirus cases in India and the world. Keep watching Impact News.
You are watching Impact TV. Engaging, empowering, and impacting lives.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching Primetime English Bulletin. India has reported a single-day spike of 382,315 new COVID-19 confirmed cases in the past 24 hours. As per the Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, India's COVID tally has reached 2,665,148 and there are 34,87,229 active cases. Death toll stands at 2,26,188 with the addition of 3,780 new COVID-19 fatalities. On the positive note, 3,38,439 people recuperated in the past 24 hours, rising the total recovered cases to 1,69,51,731. India's recovery rate stands at 82.03%. Maharashtra has the highest active cases of above 6,44,000 in the country. Globally, coronavirus has infected above 15,50,82,000 people. Above 32,43,600 people have died, and recoveries are above 13,25,66,000. USA has the highest active cases of above 67,16,000 in the world, followed by India and Brazil. A team led by President of IMOL Students Union Manipur as Khupminthang IMOL carried out drive at Palil Bazaar to check illegal hike of prices of commodities. The team checked whether shops are selling commodities at prices capped by the government or not, and whether they are following COVID-19 SOPs or not. Political advisor to Rajya Sabha MP Laishamba Sanajauba and former BJP treasurer Robin Blackie has donated relief items to residents in containment zones in Langtabal Kunja and Langtabal Mantrikong. He encouraged the public to get vaccinated against COVID-19 and battle the pandemic unitedly. Wangkhem MLA Kaisha Megachandra has also donated relief items to the surviving family of Longjam Basanta who succumbed to COVID-19. The relief items were handed through Kiam Wangmataba Youth Welfare Association at Kiam Wangmataba. Intending candidate of Langtabal Assembly Constituency cum BJP State Secretary Pukrambam Somorjit has extended relief items to residents of COVID containment zones in Langtabal, Mantrikong and Chajing. Social worker Marangte Momo has distributed relief items to residents of COVID containment zones in Sagolban constituency. Former Director of Sai Northeast Regional Center Takelpad and Youth Affairs and Sports Department Dr. Salam Mani succumbed to COVID-19 in Bangalore on May 2nd. He took a major role in promoting physical education in the state. Late Dr. Salam Mani is the son of late S. Ibomcha and Tombi from Kashampad, Thokchom Lekai. Teachers and students of Sai Northeast Regional Center Takelpad have condoled his untimely demise and shared the griefs of the bereaved family. A man aged around 30 was found hanging from a tree at Kairak Makha Lekai Babu Laukhong Pareng under Kakching Police Station in Kakching District today. Locals came across the body at around 10 a.m. Impact News officer to Kakching Police team arrived and took the body to Jennings Morgue. Identity of the deceased is yet to be identified till the time of filing this report. Kakching Police Station has registered a case. Unknown miscreants opened fire at the gate of one MD Ahmad Raja's residence in Kiamgai Muslim Mayailekai this morning. He is the secretary of the United Core Committee of Anti-Social Elements Kiamgai Muslim. Locals condemned the act by staging a sit-in in the locality. Protesters demanded authorities concerned to arrest the culprits. Speaking to media, MD Ahmad Raja's brother, MD Zahia Khan, said the incident has created panic and fear among the locals. He reminded that a police team led by Irilbung Police Station OC raided his brother's residence and tried to arrest him by alleging him of being involved in drug trades without any proofs on May 3 evening. He expressed concerns over unpredictable similar occurrence in the future and appeals to authorities concerned to take actions.
Koi nungai da su laite kana su lai kai su laite khun su laite yaul isili naw singa se khoi nungai da kari su laite kari marang winong arang hau ki ba kai no da police laktna kari toram mi haidana chek lang toram bagi dana tawdugi loi ki butang ai ri adu on silak pai hingdu da mukka sugum ba dai bakti ba thodo si thok pasi taseng nungai te adu masi mari le na bo authority na si mieng changbi ra masi asumaran si thok piraga wichar to bi ba pami khoi gi ran kai lebi da mang nupi anga hingda aki khang bok pa thok sugum ba nongai gi bong gi oi ꯃꯁꯤ ꯄꯥꯝꯖꯗꯦ ꯑꯗꯨꯅ ꯃꯁꯤ ꯃꯇꯨꯡꯗ ꯑꯃꯅ ꯇꯧꯕꯤꯗꯅꯕꯁꯨ ꯑꯩꯅ ꯁꯦꯡꯗꯣꯛꯆꯔꯤ ꯍꯣꯏ ꯔꯥꯖꯅꯤꯇꯤꯒꯤ ꯑꯣꯏꯕ ꯈꯨꯗꯣꯡꯆꯥꯕ ꯂꯧꯕ ꯍꯥꯏꯒꯗ꯭ꯔꯥ ꯀꯔꯤ ꯍꯥꯏꯒꯗꯃꯣ ꯑꯗꯨꯁꯨ ꯍꯥꯏꯕ ꯉꯝꯗꯦ ꯂꯩꯔꯤꯕ ꯊꯥꯛꯁꯤꯗ ꯇꯧꯕꯇꯕꯨ ꯃꯥꯟꯕꯗꯤ ꯈꯤꯇꯪꯗꯤ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏ ꯋꯥꯈꯜꯂꯣꯟꯁꯤꯗ ꯂꯩꯔꯤꯕ ꯃꯌꯥꯝꯁꯤꯒꯤ ꯉꯥꯡꯂꯛꯄꯁꯤ ꯇꯥꯕꯗꯗꯤ ꯑꯗꯨꯒꯨꯝꯕ ꯈꯔꯗꯤ ꯃꯥꯟꯕ ꯌꯥꯎꯗꯤ ꯌꯥꯎꯏ.
A team of Lilong police station arrested 2 vehicle lifters along with a stolen moped near Lilong police station gate in the wee hours today. The arrested persons are 20-year-old MD Subhan Khan, son of MD Abdul Wahid from Lilong Chaubok Mairen Kun, and 22-year-old MD Rohit Ahmad, son of MD Ayub Khan from Lilong Lai Hau Kong. The stolen vehicle is one grey-colored Honda Dio bearing registration number MN01 AE8517. Police sources said the accused persons have confessed to have stolen the scooty from Singjamei on May 3 afternoon. Lilong police has registered a FIR against the miscreants. A bomb suspected to be of Second World War era was recovered from the riverbank of Imphal River at Pangmol village in Kangpokpi district today. Upon getting the information, G. Saparmaina police station and Manipur bomb disposal squad rushed to the site and recovered the bomb safely. Later, the bomb was disposed at a safe location near the riverbank in Modbung this afternoon around 2. India Meteorological Department Regional Meteorological Center Guwahati has forecast a rainfall in some places of both hills and valley regions of the state for the next 4 days. Strong winds of 30 to 40 km per hour velocity are expected in some places of Tamenglong, Sanapati, Imphal West, Churachandpur and Frizol district today. It may also rain in some isolated places of Kangpokpi, Imphal West, Imphal East, Bishnupur, Thaubal and Chandel district. As per a report from ICAR Agro-Meteorological Unit Lamphel, today's highest temperature was 29.1 degree centigrade and lowest temperature was recorded at 17.7 degrees centigrade. Average rainfall in the last 24 hours in the state was 5.3 millimeter. Trinamool Congress Supremo Mamata Banerjee was sworn in as West Bengal Chief Minister for the 3rd straight term today after she spearheaded her party to a remarkable victory in the assembly polls. She called on Governor Jagdeep Dhankar at Raj Bhavan and resigned as a Chief Minister, as is a practice before she was administered the oath of office in secrecy again. Later, the newly elected MLAs of the TMC met and unanimously chose her the leader of the legislature party before she called on the governor to stake claim to form the government. Banerjee, who lost from Nandigram despite the astounding TMC victory, can be sworn in as the Chief Minister but will have to get elected to the Assembly within 6 months of assuming office. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his British counterpart Boris Johnson have adopted an ambitious roadmap 2030 to elevate bilateral ties to a comprehensive strategic partnership. The roadmap will pave the way for a deeper and stronger engagement over the next 10 years in the areas of people-to-people contacts, trade and economy, defense and security, climate action and health. In a virtual summit held yesterday, the two leaders discussed the COVID-19 situation and ongoing cooperation in the fight against the pandemic, including the successful partnership on vaccines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi thanked Prime Minister Boris Johnson for the prompt medical assistance provided by the UK in the wake of the severe second wave of COVID-19 in India. The UK Prime Minister appreciated India's role in extending assistance to the UK and other countries over the last year, including by way of supply of pharmaceuticals and vaccines. The two Prime Ministers launched an enhanced trade partnership to unleash the trade potential by setting an ambitious target of more than doubling bilateral trade by 2030. They also exchanged views on regional and global issues of mutual interest, including cooperation in the Indo-Pacific and G7. They reiterated commitment to climate change action to achieve the goals of the Paris Agreement and agreed to closely engage in the run-up to COP26 hosted by the UK later this year. India and the UK also launched a comprehensive partnership on migration and mobility that will facilitate greater opportunities for the mobility of students and professionals between the two countries. And in sports, the second round matches of Madrid Men's Open tennis tournament were played today. World-famed tennis players are competing in the ongoing tournament hosted by Spain at its outdoor clay court in Madrid Arena. In the second round, Austria's D Thiem dropped M. Garin of USA 6-1, 6-3. Russia's A. Rublev defeated T. Paul of USA 6-7, 5-7, 6-3, 6-4. Kazakhstan's A. Bublik beat Canada's D. Shapovalov 6-5, 5-7, 6-4. Italy's M. Berrettini dropped Italy's F. Fognini 6-3, 6-4. Russia's A. Karatsev defeated Argentina's D. Schwartzman 2-6, 6-4, 6-1. Chile's C. Karin beat Germany's D. Kopfer 6-3, 6-4 to enter the third round of the tournament. Remaining matches of the second round will be played tomorrow. Now, before we end, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Manipur reports single-day spike of 397 new confirmed COVID-19 cases and 10 deaths in 24 hours. Death toll stands at 434. Former Katrigao MLA Thangjam Nandakishore Elias Tayai succumbs to COVID-19 at Shiza Hospital this morning at the age of 68. Man who died of COVID-19 at Jennings early this morning, cremated without family's consent. Bereaved family demands to book miscreants involved. And India reports above 382,000 new COVID-19 cases and 3,780 deaths in past 24 hours. Recovery rate stands above 82%. That's all we have in this bulletin. Thank you for being with us. Coming up next is Primetime Manipuri Bulletin. For more news, you can also follow Impact TV on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and YouTube. Have a great evening and stay safe.
Shri Shri Gaurachandraya Namaha.